All right, let's dive into something pretty fascinating today. Ayurveda, specifically its unique approach to digestion.
Okay.
We're working from an article here that's all about using those ancient practices to really make you feel amazing from the inside out. And even if you don't know that much about Ayurveda,
Yeah.
stick with us. There are some seriously practical tips in here for anyone who, wants to feel better and wants to have better digestion.
What's really cool about Ayurveda is it doesn't just see digestion as this like basic, simple process, but as this powerful, transformative energy, right, called Jatharagni,
Okay.
literally digestive fire.
Okay. I like the sound of that, digestive fire.
Right.
But what does that actually mean for us, regular people just trying to eat better?
Well, it all comes down to how efficiently your body breaks down food.
Okay.
So a strong digestive fire means you're absorbing all the good stuff
Right.
and you're eliminating waste efficiently. Everything's moving smoothly.
So when people complain about feeling like sluggish or bloated after meals, could that be a sign that their digestive fire needs a little boost?
Absolutely. Weak digestion can lead to all sorts of uncomfortable symptoms, gas, acidity, even constipation. But Ayurveda goes beyond just like treating those issues, It helps you understand how crucial good digestion is for your overall health and well-being.
So it's not just about avoiding discomfort, it's really about optimizing, our health from the inside out.
Precisely.
Okay, so how does the Ayurvedic diet, how does it approach this? Is there some kind of crazy restrictive diet involved?
Actually, it's surprisingly simple.
Mm.
Ayurveda, another thing the article really emphasizes is slowing down
Okay.
and chewing your food thoroughly.
Right.
In Ayurveda, this is connected to mindfulness and better nutrient absorption.
Oh, so no more scarfing down lunch your desk?
It's a common habit,
Mm.
but by simply slowing down and chewing, you can significantly impact how well you digest your food.
Okay, that's a tip I can definitely try.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about specific foods that Ayurveda recommends for better digestion. I know the article mentions spices quite a bit. What's the deal with that?
Spices are like a cornerstone of Ayurvedic cooking.
Mm.
They're not just a flavor, they're like these little digestive powerhouses.
Oh, interesting. So like sprinkling some cinnamon on my oatmeal, that's actually doing my gut a favor.
Exactly. Think about things like ginger, cumin, fennel, caraway seeds. These are all like warming spices that have been used for a long time to aid digestion,
Right.
relieve bloating and gas.
So the next time I'm feeling a little gassy, I should ditch the antacids
Yeah.
and reach for the spice rack. I like it.
That's the Ayurvedic approach.
Okay.
And then there's another key player you might be familiar with, ghee,
Okay.
clarified butter.
Right.
In Ayurveda, it's highly valued for its ability to nourish and lubricate the intestines.
Okay. I've heard of ghee,
Yeah,
but I always thought it was kind of, just a fancy butter. So it actually helps with digestion too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it can be particularly helpful for people who experience constipation.
Interesting. And speaking of like good gut bacteria, the article also mentions buttermilk and yogurt
Yes.
as being beneficial.
That's right. They're rich in probiotics, which are essential for a healthy gut microbiome.
Right. So it seems like Ayurveda really focuses on incorporating, ingredients that not only taste good, but also support good digestion. Now, is there anything in here that somebody like me, who's not an Ayurvedic expert, might not be familiar with?
There's one thing you might find interesting. It's called triphala powder. It's an Ayurvedic herbal formulation that's traditionally taken with warm water at night
Okay.
to gently cleanse the digestive system.
A nightly cleanse, huh? So we've got all these incredible ingredients to work with. Now, how does Ayurveda suggest we actually structure our meals throughout the day? Do we have to, eat at very specific times or anything like that?
Ayurveda believes in aligning your eating habits
Okay.
with your body's natural rhythms.
Okay.
So, for example, it recommends a lighter breakfast
Right.
to kickstart your energy.
Okay.
Think things like oatmeal, fruit, or soaked almonds.
Okay, that makes sense. You don't want to feel weighed down,
Right.
first thing in the morning.
Exactly.
Now, what about lunch?
Lunchtime is when your digestion is thought to be the strongest,
Okay.
so that's when you should enjoy your heaviest meal.
Interesting.
And then as the day winds down, so should your food intake. A light dinner, a couple of hours before bed, allows for optimal digestion and rest.
Okay, this all sounds pretty logical,
Sure.
but I'm wondering if it's realistic for most people.
Right.
Think about your own schedule, When do you feel most energetic? Do your current eating habits actually line up with these Ayurvedic principles?
Hmm.
It's an interesting thing to think about.
It is.
Yeah.
And it leads us to another important aspect of Ayurveda.
Okay.
The idea that lifestyle changes
Okay.
can significantly impact your digestion.
Ah, so it's not just about what we eat, it's also about how we live our lives.
Right.
The whole picture.
Exactly. Ayurveda stresses the importance of having regular routines,
Okay.
especially around meal times.
Mm-hmm.
Sticking to consistent times for eating helps regulate your digestive processes.
It's like setting your internal clock. So your stomach knows when to expect food and be ready to do its job.
Exactly. And Ayurveda also encourages you to sync your day with the natural rhythms of the sun, meaning you rise with the sun and sleep when it sets.
Early to bed, early to rise. I know that's not always possible for everybody,
Right.
but I can see how even small adjustments could make a difference.
Yeah.
What other lifestyle tips does Ayurveda offer?
Well, how about incorporating some movement? Yoga and exercise can work wonders for your digestion.
Oh, I love this part. The article mentions some specific yoga poses that are
Yes.
supposed to be especially helpful for digestion.
Yes. Vajragasana, a kneeling pose that can relieve gas, Pawan Muktasana, which helps release trapped wind, and Bhujangasana, which stretches the abdominal muscles and stimulates that digestive fire we were talking about.
Wow, I'm definitely going to have to look those up. But even if yoga isn't your thing, a simple walk after meals can help prevent that sluggish feeling.
Absolutely. And then there's pranayama,
Okay.
which are yogic breathing exercises.
Okay.
Techniques like Analom Vilom and Kapalbhati are thought to strengthen digestive fire and improve how well everything works.
So even if someone is new to yoga, they can still explore these breathing techniques
Of course.
and incorporate them into their routine.
Absolutely. It's all about finding what works for you and your body.
Yeah.
And we can't forget about the mind-body connection either.
Yeah.
Ayurveda really emphasizes that, recognizing that stress and anxiety can wreak havoc on your digestive system.
Oh, tell me about it. I swear every time I'm stressed, my stomach feels like it's tied in knots. It's like our gut instantly reacts to our emotions.
Exactly. And that's why Ayurveda suggests incorporating practices like meditation and cultivating a more positive mindset as tools to manage stress and, as a result, improve digestion.
So it's really all connected.
Precisely. Now, this article also touches on something that I think many of us can relate to:
Okay.
overeating and emotional eating.
Oh, I'm definitely guilty of both of those, especially when I'm feeling down or stressed.
It's common, but Ayurveda encourages us to be more mindful of our eating habits, address those underlying emotional triggers so we can make healthier choices that support our digestive health.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the fundamental Ayurvedic principles that can really transform our relationship with food and digestion. What are some of the key takeaways here?
One of the biggest ones is eating only when you're truly hungry. It's about tuning in to your body's cues
Right.
instead of just sticking to a rigid schedule or giving in to cravings.
So instead of reaching for a snack just because it's 3 p.m., we should be checking in with our bodies and asking, are we actually hungry?
Exactly. It's about cultivating a more intuitive way of eating. Ayurveda also discourages drinking cold water and beverages, advocating for warm water instead.
Really? Why is that? I love my ice-cold drinks.
Ayurveda teaches that cold water can dampen the digestive fire,
Oh.
while warm water stimulates it, promoting smoother digestion.
So maybe swapping out that icy soda for a cup of warm herbal tea could make a difference in how I feel after a meal.
Small changes can have a big impact. Another principle Ayurveda promotes is eating seasonal and local foods.
Okay.
This not only supports local farmers, but also ensures you're eating foods that are naturally in tune with your body's needs at that time of year.
So it's a win-win for our health and the planet.
Exactly.
I love that. Are there any other principles we should know about?
One more that's worth mentioning is the concept of a weekly detox,
Okay.
where you might have lighter meals or even fast for a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's seen as a way to give your digestive system a break and allow it to reset.
That's a fascinating idea. It's like hitting the reset button on your digestion.
Exactly.
Wow, we've covered so much ground already. It's incredible how much wisdom Ayurveda offers when it comes to improving digestive health.
It is. It's a holistic system that takes into account not just what you eat, but how you live and how you feel.
I'm already feeling inspired to make some changes to my routine.
Good.
But before we move on, are there any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners pondering?
Absolutely. Think about this. How would you describe your own digestive fire?
Okay.
Is it burning bright or is it just a flicker?
Right.
And what simple adjustments, inspired by what we've discussed,
Right.
can you make to strengthen it?
That's a really great question to think about. It's all about finding what works for your unique needs and making gradual changes that you can stick with.
Precise.
It's amazing how these ancient Ayurvedic practices, actually align with what modern science is discovering about digestion.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like, take the emphasis on chewing your food thoroughly, for example.
Oh, I was just thinking about that. I used to just inhale my food,
Right.
but I've been making an effort to chew more mindfully lately, and honestly, I think I feel a difference.
Yeah, it's not just an old wives' tale.
Yeah.
The simple act of chewing kickstarts the digestive process.
Right.
It helps break down food mechanically,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
triggers the release of those enzymes
Right.
that are essential for proper digestion.
So chewing is like setting the stage
Yeah.
for everything else that follows.
Precisely. And think about the recommendation to favor warm, cooked foods.
Right.
Cooking helps soften fibers and makes it easier for our bodies to break down those complex molecules.
So it's like we're giving our digestive systems a head start.
Exactly. Now, remember when we talked about agni or digestive fire?
Yeah, that really caught my attention. Is that an actual, thing, or is it more of a metaphor?
Well, the Ayurveda, agni is seen as this real metabolic fire that resides in our digestive system. It's the force that transforms the food we eat into energy, and the building blocks our body needs.
Wow, that's a powerful image. So what happens when that fire is weak? What does that look and feel like?
Imagine a campfire, right, that's damp.
Okay.
It struggles to burn brightly and leaves behind a lot of smoke and unburned wood.
Mm-hmm.
Weak agni is similar.
Okay.
It leads to incomplete digestion, which can cause, all those uncomfortable symptoms we talked about.
Right.
Bloating, gas, indigestion, constipation.
It's like our digestive system is sputtering instead of roaring.
A perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And this can have consequences beyond just physical discomfort. Ayurveda believes that weak agni can contribute to low energy,
Mm-hmm.
a weaker immune system,
Wow.
and even impact our emotional balance.
So if we want to feel our best, both physically and mentally, we need to keep that digestive fire burning strong.
Exactly. And that's where those dietary and lifestyle practices that we
Right.
talked about come in. The types of foods we choose, how we eat them,
Right.
our routines, our stress levels, all of these things affect agni.
It's like tending a fire, carefully nurturing it,
Yeah,
and providing the right conditions for it to thrive.
I like that. Now let's zoom in on those specific foods that Ayurveda recommends for boosting digestion.
Okay.
We touched on spices earlier,
Yay.
but tell me more about their role.
Yeah, I'm ready to spice things up. I'm so fascinated by how Ayurveda uses common spices almost like medicine.
It's true. Ayurveda sees food as medicine.
Right.
Spices are like concentrated doses of digestive support.
Yeah.
They add flavor, aroma, and they have these amazing medicinal properties that can help balance digestion.
It's like having a natural pharmacy right there in your spice rack.
Exactly. We've already talked about cumin, fennel, caraway seeds, and ginger. These are all warming spices
Right.
that can stimulate agni and help with things like, gas and bloating.
And I remember reading about turmeric being
Yeah.
a digestive superstar, too.
Turmeric is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's well known for its anti-inflammatory properties,
Right.
which can be so beneficial for soothing digestive inflammation
Right.
and supporting a healthy gut.
It seems like every spice has its own unique superpower.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, now what about ghee? You mentioned it earlier. Why is it so important in Ayurveda?
Ghee is a type of clarified butter.
Right.
It's had the milk solids removed,
Right.
which makes it easier to digest for people who might be sensitive to dairy.
So it's like a gentler version of butter.
That's a good way to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And in Ayurveda, ghee is prized for its ability to nourish and lubricate the intestines.
Mm-hmm.
It can promote smooth bowel movements
Right.
and help relieve constipation.
It's like a soothing balm for the digestive tract.
Precisely. Now let's talk about buttermilk.
Okay.
It might not be the most glamorous drink, but it has some pretty impressive digestive benefits.
I've heard it's a great source of probiotics, right?
You're absolutely right. Buttermilk is teeming with those beneficial bacteria that help create a healthy gut microbiome.
Right.
And as we know, A balanced gut microbiome is crucial, not just for digestion, but also for nutrient absorption and even immune function.
So it's a much bigger deal
Yeah.
than just digestion. It
Yeah.
impacts our overall health.
Absolutely. And if you don't like to drink buttermilk straight, you can add it to smoothies.
Right.
Use it in baking.
Okay, that's a good tip. Now remind me about trifle powder.
Yes.
You mentioned it earlier, but I'm still a little fuzzy on what exactly it is.
Trifle is a traditional Ayurvedic blend of 3 fruits: amalaki, haritaki, and bibataki.
Okay.
And these fruits have been used for centuries to support digestion and detoxification.
So it's like a triple threat
Right.
of digestive support.
Exactly.
How do people typically use it?
Traditionally, you would mix trifle powder with warm water and drink it before bed. It acts as a gentle overnight cleanse for the digestive system.
Like a natural reset button.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And trifle is believed to have benefits beyond digestion, too. It's said to boost immunity, promote detoxification, and even reduce inflammation.
Wow, a true multitasker. You know, as we're talking, I'm noticing a theme here.
Mm.
A lot of these Ayurvedic recommendations seem to focus on like warming, soothing, and lubricating the digestive system.
You're picking up on a key principle of Ayurveda. A balanced digestive fire needs the right kind of fuel and environment to thrive. Cold, heavy, processed foods can dampen agni, while warm, light, and easily digestible foods nourish and support it.
It's like creating a comfortable, cozy haven for our digestive fire to flourish.
That's a great way to put it. Now, let's move beyond food and talk about some of the lifestyle practices that Ayurveda recommends.
Okay.
We briefly touched on routines, but I'd love to hear more about that.
I'm all ears. I'm trying to be better about, sticking to a routine, but it's not always easy.
It definitely takes effort, but it can make a big difference. Ayurveda encourages aligning our daily routines with the natural rhythms of nature. This means waking up and going to bed around the same time each day, having meals at consistent times, and even incorporating regular exercise into your schedule.
It's like setting our internal clocks to sync with the rhythms of the universe.
Exactly. And this regularity helps our bodies establish predictable patterns, which can do wonders for digestion. It allows our digestive system to work more efficiently.
So it's not just about what we eat, but when we eat it, too.
Precisely. Ayurveda also encourages us to, align our eating habits with the cycles of the sun.
Okay.
Ideally, we should have our heaviest meal at lunchtime, when the sun is at its peak and our digestive fire is thought to be the strongest.
It makes sense, right, to tap into the power of the sun for our digestion. And then as the sun begins to set, we should, gradually decrease our food intake and opt for a lighter dinner.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
It's all about working in harmony with nature's rhythms. Now, we can't forget about stress.
Oh, stress, the unavoidable part of modern life.
Yeah.
But how does it actually impact digestion specifically?
When we're stressed, our body goes into fight or flight mode. Our heart rate increases, muscles tense up, and digestion takes a back seat. Blood flow is diverted away from the digestive system to the muscles, which can slow down digestion and lead to indigestion, bloating, or even constipation.
It's like our body is too busy dealing with the perceived threat to focus on digestion.
Exactly. That's why Ayurveda emphasizes stress-reducing practices like meditation, yoga, and deep breathing.
So it's not just about popping an antacid when we feel indigestion. It's really about addressing the root cause of the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about those specific yoga poses that can be beneficial for digestion.
Yes.
You mentioned being curious about those earlier.
Yeah, let's hear about those.
There are several yoga poses that are thought to stimulate digestion, relieve gas, and promote regularity. One is Vajrasana, also known as Thunderbolt pose.
That sounds intense.
It's actually a simple kneeling pose that is said to improve blood circulation to the digestive organs.
Yep. Okay, so maybe something even I could do.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Another one is Paimuktasana, which translates to wind-relieving pose.
I love that name. What does it involve?
It's a series of gentle movements that can help release trapped gas and relieve bloating.
That sounds like something everyone should know how to do. What else is there?
There's also Bhujangasana, or cobra pose.
Okay.
This one gently stretches the abdominal muscles and is believed to stimulate digestive fire.
It's like giving our digestive system a gentle internal massage.
A great way to think about it. Now, even if you're not into yoga, Simply moving your body
Right.
can do wonders for digestion.
I've definitely noticed that going for a walk after dinner helps me feel less sluggish and full.
That's because movement helps stimulate peristalsis,
Okay.
the wave-like contractions that move food through your digestive tract.
So we're encouraging things to keep moving along.
Exactly. And then there's pranayama,
Right.
the yogic breathing techniques we talked about earlier.
Right. Can you remind me how those are helpful?
Pranayama involves conscious control of your breath,
Okay.
which can profoundly impact both our physical and mental well-being.
So we can actually use our breath to influence our internal state.
Precisely. Certain techniques, like anulum velum or alternate nostril breathing,
Right.
are thought to balance the flow of energy in the body, which promotes relaxation and can stimulate digestion.
That's fascinating. Are there any other breathing exercises that are helpful?
There's also Kapalbhati, sometimes called skill shining breath.
Oh.
It's a little more invalidating.
Okay.
It involves forceful exhalations.
I've heard of that one. It sounds intense.
It can be,
Mm-hmm.
but it's believed to, cleanse and energize the body, stimulate agni,
Right.
and help with detoxification.
It's like giving our digestive system a powerful jolt of energy.
Exactly. And as we wrap up this section on Ayurvedic practices,
Okay.
I really want to emphasize the importance of listening to your body.
That's such great advice. It's so easy to get caught up in all the shoulds and shouldn'ts,
Right.
but our bodies really do know what they need.
That's a key principle in Ayurveda. It
course.
encourages us to pay attention to our individual needs
Right.
and adjust these practices accordingly. What works for one person
Right.
might not work for another.
So there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly. We each have a unique digestive fire,
Right.
and it's up to us to learn how to tend to it and keep it burning bright.
It's like we're each the caretaker of our own internal flame.
I like that. And by, paying attention, experimenting, and making gradual changes, we can all experience the benefits of optimal digestion.
It's about taking charge of our digestive health and finding what truly works for us.
Chrysalis.
It's really remarkable how Ayurveda offers such a holistic and personalized approach to digestion. It's not about, just treating the symptoms.
Yeah.
It's about really understanding the whole person.
Right.
You mentioned earlier that Ayurveda categorizes people into different types or
Yeah.
doshas. Can you
Wow.
remind me about those?
Of course. So the three main doshas are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
Right.
And each dosha has, unique characteristics that influence everything from our physical traits to our digestive fire.
So it's like having a personalized roadmap for optimal digestion based on your dosha.
Exactly.
Okay.
For example, someone with a predominantly Vata dosha might tend towards irregular digestion,
Alright.
gas, bloating.
That makes sense because Vata is associated with air and movement.
Right.
So it seems logical that it would relate to those kinds of digestive issues.
Exactly. So for a Vata individual, Ayurveda would likely recommend warm, grounding foods,
Okay.
regular routines, and stress-reducing practices to help balance their digestive fire.
What about Pitta?
Pitta is associated with fire and intensity.
Right.
So those of the strong Pitta dosha often have a sharp appetite and a strong digestive fire.
Okay.
But they can also be prone to things like, acidity, heartburn, inflammation.
So their digestive fire might be a little too intense?
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
So for Pitta, Ayurveda might suggest incorporating cooling foods,
Okay.
avoiding anything, too spicy or acidic,
Right.
and practicing calming techniques to help kind of soothe their digestive system.
And lastly, we have Kapha.
Kapha is associated with earth and water.
Okay.
Individuals with a Kapha constitution tend to have slower digestion.
Okay.
They might be prone to things like, sluggishness, weight gain, water retention.
So their digestive fire might need a little extra boost?
Exactly. Ayurveda might recommend lighter, more stimulating foods, regular exercise,
Right.
and warming spices, like ginger and black pepper, to kind of stoke their digestive fire.
It's amazing how this ancient system provides, such specific and personalized guidance.
I know, it's pretty cool.
It really is.
Yeah.
So for our listeners who are now wondering, what's my dosha?
Right.
How can they figure that out?
There are lots of resources available online and in books that can help you kind of determine your dosha.
Okay.
You can also consult with an Ayurvedic practitioner
Right.
for a more personalized assessment.
That's a great tip. Now, beyond doshas, are there any common digestive challenges
Sure.
that people often face regardless of their type?
One that comes to mind is bloating.
Oh, yeah.
It's something almost everyone experiences from time to time.
Oh, tell me about it. I've had my fair share of bloating episodes.
I think we all have.
Yeah.
Bloating can be caused by a number of things,
Ah.
including food sensitivities, gas-producing foods,
Right.
and even stress.
So it's like a multifaceted mystery.
Exactly. And from an Ayurvedic perspective, bloating often signals weak agni
Okay.
or an imbalance in those digestive energies we were talking about.
Okay, so how can we, tackle bloating when it strikes?
Well, Ayurveda suggests a few approaches. First, identifying and eliminating any potential food triggers is key.
Makes sense. If you know something consistently upsets your stomach, it's best to just avoid it.
Right. Ayurveda also recommends using, those digestive spices we talked about.
Yeah.
Cumin, fennel, ginger
Right.
in your cooking.
Our spice allies.
Exactly. Those can really help stimulate digestion and reduce gas production.
What about those times when, you've maybe overindulged a bit and
Oh,
are,
yeah.
paying the price?
We've all been there.
Yeah.
In those cases, Ayurveda might recommend a simple digestive tea
Okay.
made with ginger, fennel, and mint.
That sounds soothing.
It is. And then for folks who experience chronic bloating, Ayurveda suggests incorporating practices like yoga,
Right.
pranayama, and mindful eating
Yeah.
to help improve overall digestive function.
So it's about taking a multi-pronged approach that addresses, both the immediate symptoms and those underlying imbalances.
Exactly.
Now, another common digestive woe is constipation.
Oh, yes. Constipation.
Right.
It's definitely not the most glamorous topic,
Right.
but it's something that, a lot of people struggle with.
It is, and it can be caused by a variety of factors, including, dehydration, lack of fiber, stress, even certain medications.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's like a traffic jam in the digestive tract.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Ayurveda views constipation as a sign of dryness and stagnation in the colon.
So how do we get things moving again?
Right.
What are some tips from Ayurveda?
Well, first and foremost, Ayurveda stresses the importance of hydration.
Water is so essential for so many bodily functions, including digestion.
Absolutely. Drinking enough water is crucial for keeping everything flowing smoothly
Right.
in your digestive system.
What about fiber?
Fiber is another key player. It adds bulk to your stool, which helps promote regularity.
So it's like a little broom
Yeah.
sweeping through our intestines.
Exactly.
Okay.
Ayurveda also recommends including lubricating foods in your diet, such as ghee and flax seeds.
Okay.
Those can help soften stool and make things easier to pass.
Right.
And then, of course, if you need a little extra help, Ayurveda might suggest a gentle laxative like triphala powder.
Triphala to the rescue once again.
Exactly.
Right?
It's a
Yeah.
natural and effective option.
Okay. We've talked a lot about food and lifestyle,
Right.
but we can't forget about, the mental and emotional aspects of digestion.
Mm-hmm.
The mind-gut connection is such a hot topic these days.
Yeah, it is.
What does Ayurveda have to say about it?
Ayurveda's been emphasizing the mind-gut connection for centuries. It recognizes the profound impact that our mental and emotional states can have on our digestive system.
So it's not just what we eat,
Yeah,
but how we feel while we're eating that matters.
exactly. Stress, anxiety, even negative emotions
Right.
can disrupt the balance of our digestive fire.
So those stressful work lunches might not be doing our digestion any favors.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Ayurveda encourages us to cultivate a sense of calm and presence during mealtimes.
So put away the phones and laptops and really focus on the food in front of us.
Precisely. It's about slowing down, savoring each bite,
Right.
chewing thoroughly, and appreciating the nourishment you're receiving.
It's about making mealtime a more mindful ritual.
Beautifully said.
Mm.
And beyond mindful eating, incorporating practices like meditation, yoga, and deep breathing into your daily routine can also help.
Right. Those practices can really help calm the mind and soothe the nervous system, which in turn allows your digestive system to, work more efficiently.
Exactly. It's all about creating that harmonious balance
Yeah.
between mind, body, and digestion.
Well said. Wow, we've covered so much today.
I know we have.
From the basics of Ayurveda to personalized tips, common digestive challenges.
Yeah.
It's been incredibly insightful. I feel like I have, a whole new understanding of how to care for my digestive system.
I'm glad.
I really do. Before we wrap things up, do you have any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Here's something to consider. How can you cultivate a deeper sense of awareness and appreciation for the incredible process of digestion that happens within you every single day?
That's such a great question. It really encourages us to connect with our bodies and to honor, like, this intricate dance of transformation that turns food into fuel for life.
Precisely. Maybe it's starting a gratitude practice before meals,
Right.
taking a moment to appreciate the nourishment we're receiving,
Mm-hmm.
or simply paying attention to the sensations in our bodies as we digest.
It's about recognizing that digestion is not just a chore,
Yeah.
but a vital act of self-care.
Well said.
Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of Ayurveda and digestion. We hope you feel inspired to nourish your digestive fire and embark on your own path towards optimal digestive health. Until next time, happy digesting.